It remains to be seen. It's going to be chaotic for a while.
He's talking about the southern border and the tens of thousands of migrants just waiting to cross into the United States.
The chaos the president is talking about will come from the expiration of the Title 42 immigration policy. It's ending tomorrow because that's when the COVID-19 national emergency ends. Title 42 allowed Border Patrol agents to basically immediately expel most asylum-seeking migrants crossing the border without going through the normal process because of fears of COVID-19. More than 2.5 million migrants have been turned away since 2020 under Title 42. But just because that rule is going away doesn't mean we don't have other immigration laws on the books.
The lifting of the Title 42 public health order does not mean our border is open. In fact, it is the contrary. Our use of our immigration enforcement authorities under Title 8 of the United States Code means tougher consequences for people who cross the border illegally.
Title 8 has been around for more than 80 years, and it also allows Customs and Border Patrol to expedite the processing and removal of migrants seeking asylum at the border unlawfully. The difference, Title 8 has a consequence. If the agents find the migrant doesn't qualify for asylum, doesn't prove a credible fear of returning to their own country, and tried to enter illegally, that migrant may face a 5-year ban from attempting to enter the United States again. Of course, there are some exceptions. Homeland Security also introduced a new temporary policy today that disqualifies migrants from even attempting to seek asylum if they come across the border illegally and don't first seek asylum in another country other than the United States. It's really important to understand our immigration system is completely broken. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. Congress has not passed any kind of meaningful immigration reform in decades, and that's left the system old, outdated, and unable to keep up with these modern situations. The fact is, there's very little a president can do at the border. This is a job for Congress to fix, and when they don't, the last few presidents have just been forced to put band-aids on the problem based on their politics. And you know from your everyday life, constantly putting band-aids on a problem for decades is way more expensive than fixing the root problem once and for all. But since Congress won't fix the root problem, these band-aids are getting really expensive. Back in December, Homeland Security asked Congress for $4 billion to address the problem at the border in anticipation of Title 42 coming to an end. Homeland Security got about half that amount.
Our current situation is the outcome of Congress leaving a broken, outdated immigration system in place for over 2 decades, despite unanimous agreement that we desperately need legislative reform. It is also the result of Congress's decision not to provide us with the resources we need and that we requested.
It's worth noting the president's new budget proposal would allocate $25 billion for U.S. Customs and Border Protection and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That's an increase of more than $800 million over the 2023 level. The House Republicans plan to vote on a border bill tomorrow that will never pass the United States Senate. But under the Republican budget plan that includes the debt ceiling increase and was passed through the House, all spending over 2023 levels would be capped at 1%. The president says that's a problem. Congress isn't passing a law to fix the immigration system and also won't help fund the only solution that's actually on the table.
When they said, well, we're going to cut and no spending more money, so what the hell happens? If you cut, you're going to cut people at the border? You're going to cut agents at the border? We need more at the border, not less at the border.